Welcome back to all of you out there. I hope there's lots of you still out there. Please write in and tell us where you're watching from. I'm just overwhelmed by this musical talent today. Olli Mustonen, welcome to Holstebro. It's your first time here too, isn't it?
I think it is. I've been many times to Denmark. Yeah. I'm also near here.
Yeah. All these Scandinavians, you sort of stick close together.
We do. Yeah.
And you are going to do 20 minutes of you have 3 students, all playing totally different things.
Yes.
And we're really looking forward to it. So
me too.
I'm here with the online if you need me.
Okay.
Otherwise, Diana is our first...
Will you give us fingerings and advice from online?
You, yes, I will just shout it all out. So welcome, thank you, and enjoy.
So, and this will be Mendelssohn, Song Without Words. And then we will say some words without songs. Such wonderful music, Mendelssohn, unbelievable. And you're playing also some other of the songs without words, aren't you? Yes, yes. Do you know kind of similar pieces? I think they're called chants or something like that, but by Alcan. Do you know this composer, Alcan? Yeah, he was about the same age as Mendelssohn, and he was one of, I think, people like, for example, Chopin respected him tremendously, and it's just kind of music that's not played so often nowadays, and it's fantastic music, I think, and it's worth looking into those as well. But what to say in such short time, of course. I would say it's a very difficult piece, actually, also technically. I mean, he was an unbelievable pianist, of course. We know that, and it's interesting. Often in Mendelssohn's works, you find the words con fuoco, and even here, con fuoco, it says. And I think it's typical for him. I mean, somehow, I don't know, some people have impression of Mendelssohn as he was kind of like a Sunday child, and everything's so happy. And of course, there is that element of him, but there's this very fiery element of him, I think, and kind of demonic. And I think it would be great to play this piece faster. For me, Allegro di molto, it sounds a little bit, I know it's terribly difficult, but the thing is that it sounds to me more allegretto this way. But of course, it becomes unbelievably difficult because there are all these repeated notes and everything. And we have to remember, of course, piano of Mendelssohn's time, it was, we now think piano, we immediately think of modern Steinway, but of course, it was quite different at that time. I mean, and the touch was much lighter, and often these kind of things, like you also recognize this kind of writing for piano in, let's say, Schubert's song, for example, Erich König is this famous Opus 1, where it's the ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, and it's incredibly difficult to do, especially on modern piano. And I think the same applies for this in a way. But, so I don't want to sort of, it's easy to say, oh, play faster. But in this case, I think it would solve many, many things. I don't know if you try, just don't care too much about somehow each detail, but if you could find the spirit more, a little bit faster, maybe something between, something like that. Just try. Yeah. Immediately, I think many things start to work, because it starts to, you know, it's not ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, but it's it almost goes in one somehow, and then we can just kind of talk about it a little bit, and I think there is this restlessness in the piece all the time, because when it's too slow, it becomes sort of, I just think it says the wrong things, because this piece, and also the fact that because it's in B flat minor, which is rather unusual key also, and then it's the great drama builds towards that it goes into B flat major. And it's such a fantastic, almost unexpected thing, because it seems so much in the dark. It's like riding the horse in some dark, let's say, you're a little bit lost, and it's getting dark, and you know, in the forest or somewhere like that, and suddenly you're almost lost your hope. You find your way home or to the light or something like that. And as I said, I think a lot of fire in this music. It's difficult to. Now, after I've said all this, I mean, I think it will take a lot of time to work with the tempo. I mean, it's normally, how would I say? I mean, there are many ways to play something, and I think, as Maestro Gitlis just said earlier, I very much believe in the same idea that there's not only one way to play a piece of music, especially when we're speaking about great composer like Mendelssohn. You know, great work by a great composer. It's like a great mountain somehow, and you can see it from the north side or you can see it from the south side, but it's still the same mountain, so to say. But just unfortunate, in this case, I do think the tempo is an obstacle to really find a way to play this piece convincingly. Maybe I'll try a little bit myself. I can't play it at all, but
Olli and I were talking yesterday about masterclasses, and we said, actually, we don't know what's worse, someone that comes and just goes blah, 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 and you think, oh, or someone that comes and plays as well as Diane, and you think, oh no, they play so well, how are we going to do that?
Yes, of course. That's how it is. Yeah. Actually, this is interesting. I mean, we are all different. We have different height and size and everything, but did you ever think of sitting a little bit higher?
Also told me to do that, but another teacher told me to sit a little.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, again, there's not one answer, but I think it's worth trying. In general, you know, I think we as I said, we're all different, and we have to find different solutions. But in general, I always like to say to people, try sitting higher, and it's even funny. It depends on repertoire. I think I never checked it with any measurements or anything like that, but and it depends on the day somehow where you want to sit, but and especially on the repertoire. I think often if I play Mozart, I play a little bit lower, and then something like Rachmaninoff higher, because when you're higher, it's kind of, you just kind of lean against the piano, so to say. Maybe we forget about Mendelssohn for a little while and talk about chairs. It's so interesting. And
does it really make a difference to the sound and how
absolutely, I think so. Yes, because you can sort of, because gravity seems to exist. I think many people think so. Many scientists think so, and it's as it exists anyway. It's better that gravity is not our enemy, but rather our friend. I think. So
it's not if you're a girl.
Yeah, no. It's so. I think if you play some let's say B flat major chords as I was just playing, and from up there a little bit more, and see how it is. Just yeah, let me try. Maybe concentrate especially on the left hand, because this is kind of the bottom of the sound. Right hand almost a little bit lighter, and then here it's all, sort of the overtones are coming from down here. So try those wonderful chords. It's just composed by me, this piece. Yeah. And now let me see. I think what happens is it's very good. But what you do with the left hand, you lift the hand immediately up. Of course, you think, and I think because you're a clever person, you think since the hammer has already hit the string, of course, one would think that there's nothing you can do more. But it does affect it. I think you should keep a continuous pressure and longer. Try to play longer notes. And, sort of not like, but. So I don't know what use it might have with this piece, but certainly with some other music.
We're getting a little bit out of time now.
Yes.
That was so, I mean, as a horn player, even if only I'd known about the piano stool business in my earlier life.
It's a secret. Don't tell anybody.
It's too late. People are writing.
No. This is.
Someone said. Sasha in Moscow has said, Mr. Mustonen, thank you very much for the piano stool advice. So,
Oh, good, yes.
And Veronica in Venezuela has said, you're my hero. When are you coming to Venezuela, and do you play South American music? So this.
Well, I like the way how the Venezuelan people sound. I mean, they seem to be very intelligent, and yes.
So I think we're going to have to. There was a lot of successful stuff in there.
Oh.
But unfortunately, we have to.
Okay, we obey your orders.
I'm very sorry,
always, but
Diane, I'm really
thank
sorry.
you very much.
But is there some useful things in there for you? Yeah? Fantastic.
Great.
I think you play really well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's really fascinating. I had no idea. Who's next? Who's next? We have Jens. Jens? A Jens somewhere? But while we're Jens doing, I want to try this. Okay.
Yeah.
How?
Well, it's always, by the way, one secret is that
This is the beginner's lesson, but until the next guy comes, this is the beginner.
it's much easier to play on the black keys, actually, because there are fewer of them. So you have much higher, my father is a statistician, and he would know about probabilities, and, you have much higher likelihood of hitting the right keys when you are, and that's why, actually, it's quite interesting. We think when we have piano lessons, C major is the first scale.
Yeah, I would have just done that.
But as actually what Chopin, I think he always considered C major to be the most difficult key of all. And it is. It's very uncomfortable. And all the great sort of piano composers, they would write in D flat major, B flat major. Those kind of keys are much more comfortable. I mean, that's why the Tchaikovsky concerto is in, well, it's in B flat minor, but mostly in also also goes to B flat major, D flat major, and that's another secret. Yes.
So if we were playing chords, we should be like.
Well, yes, and yes, very beautiful. Yes, yes. And I think we
Yes,
have.
I know. Okay, I'm
yeah,
stopping now. I'm
as
sorry,
much
yes, I was
as
just having fun because
Yeah.
I think it's the advice for beginners and this black key advice is really quite
it's
impressive.
true. It's
Okay, thank you. I'm going back to my computer. Jens, welcome.
hello. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
And I have the Jadot for you.
Oh, fantastic. This is a wonderful piece. Jadot by Ravel. And I'm wondering, since we have... Well, let's see. Let's start playing it. I might interrupt you very rudely. I mean, it's just because I have no manners, you see. Yeah. It's we run out of water somehow. No. There's a shortage. Not in Denmark usually though, because it's raining. Yes, I was thinking just some ideas. I mean, it's incredible piece. And actually, I have to say something similar as what we were just speaking about Mendelssohn. It's quite surprising about how this piece actually is challenging because of the pianos of nowadays are quite different. Even we think, I mean, you know, Ravel wrote it, this was a little bit more than 100 years ago. And we would think that, oh, they had, you know, Steinways and modern pianos. But I don't know, have you played pianos of, let's say, 120-year-old pianos or something like that?
No.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting because it's surprisingly different. And in France also, I think they had Erard and Gavot, these old pianos that, and also this is really early Ravel. I think it was 1903 or something like that. And so that's a big challenge somehow because when you play, they somehow very easily. When we play modern piano is a fantastic instrument. I mean, I think it is somehow has the huge amount of possibilities. The palette is very, very wide. And whereas some of the earlier pianos, and then when you go also to harpsichord, you know, I kind of grew up with harpsichords. My sister's a harpsichordist, and my first instrument was harpsichord. And I always thought, it sounds I'm going very far away from jeu d'eau, but we will get there eventually. And it is just that talking about, for example, music that was written for harpsichord, and when we play it on modern piano. Now, it is somehow so that because the possibilities of a harpsichord are much more limited, they are much better focused for the music that was written for harpsichord. But it doesn't mean that we couldn't play Scarlatti or Bach on a modern piano, but we just need a lot of imagination to create similar kind of suitable palette, to find a suitable palette for because the possibilities are so wide. And the same applies, funnily enough, for this, because when you play this kind of music on a piano that's sort of 120-year-old, you immediately will get rather mysterious kind of sounds. And that's kind of a little bit what we miss easily on a modern piano. This will start to sound a little bit mundane and kind of, how would I say, I don't mean you sound like that, but I'm just saying in general. It starts to sound sort of like that, and there is this feeling of, you know, time of gaslight still, or something like that. You know, the kind of magic that is immediately, or let's say more easily achievable on an older piano, where the possibilities are more limited. But the advantage of possibilities being more limited is that they are directed. It's easier to find. That's what. So, yeah.
Paul from London just asked, would you recommend to practice on the harpsichord?
Well, that's interesting. I think it's certainly worth trying them. And I played in my life a lot of harpsichord. But for myself, it's impossible to combine. I don't play harpsichord, I don't play fortepiano, because you have to calibrate your fingers so differently. And because I play a lot of concerts on modern pianos, it's real agony after, if you have calibrated your fingers to this much lighter touch, then to go back to modern piano. I'm kind of not so talented in that way, that I find it agonizing and too difficult. So I'm just playing everything on a modern piano. But I must say I'm very influenced by experience of playing and hearing harpsichords and fortepianos and earlier pianos. And this would be interesting for you if you find somewhere a really old piano, let's say 120-year-old piano, to play this piece on that, because it will. Okay, so let me try something. And I say same thing to you as I said to her just before. It's interesting. We are not going to go into this so much now, but experiment also with different heights of where to sit. I think it's interesting. Okay, so again, I don't play this piece, but I would play slightly slower. This is a question of taste, of course. I'm just saying also things that come to my mind. It's not necessarily very.
You can just try it out.
Yeah, exactly. Because for the rhythm somehow to start to speak. Something like that. Maybe you try.
I was also thinking that maybe
Yeah.
there's two ways to make it more like bold. If it's fast, it could also be like.
That's true. That's true.
So on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I could try to.
Yeah.
So
Let's try.
slower now and a little.
Yeah, a little slower. Yes. Yeah.
It's a whole different piece, right?
Yeah.
But
I like it.
this is not so much sound, I think.
Yeah. I would try something. Let me also try, because you have pedal there. I mean, he even marked it. It's good. I mean, you have very big hands, and this is good. And and it says kind of legato. But I think it's better to. This is very technical talk. It's not so interesting for other people than pianists. But I would just, as an idea, I would play the first two notes with the thumb, like this. You can keep your hand. You can have this already there, but.
So it's like making
has kind of jeu d'eau because it is sort of full of these water molecules that are going like this, and I think it's, for my taste, of course, it says pianissimo, très doux, it has all these slurs, but for me it sounds a little bit too even somehow. So I think you can experiment with let me try, kind of, how do you say, is it glimmer? Is that the word? Or what glitter? Glitter.
Glitter.
Yeah. It can have more that within sort of pianissimo, but I think you are a little bit too much pianissimo all the time. Let me try. More je, of course, means kind of, but it is there must be humor almost there. You know, I didn't mean rubato necessarily. It can be. Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm a little bit pedantic always, so I wouldn't make the ritardando there in the second bar. I mean, it's good, but I think if the piece lasted like 6 bars, this would be good. But I think there are so many interesting things going to happen, so that we are going to become a little seasick. So it's better sometimes to keep the basic level rather like this, and then when you do this, it's already amazing, and you have so much in reserve. Whereas if in the first 2 bars you are already doing this and jumping, and you know, you have to, by the second bar or second page, maybe you have to have a red hat to wear or something. I'm making stupid jokes. No, yeah, I just mean that if you can be a little bit more boring in the beginning. I'm not saying boring, I'm meaning magical but kind of misterioso, and not making the ritardando, and then you have the kind of in your arsenal, you have in your weaponry, you still have things at store which to bring. Yeah, exactly. So let's try it. Little slower maybe. Yes. Yeah, because I think there's almost a dance-like element of it. Let's try one. Wonderful. Yeah, and I think within this tempo, you can kind of have more room to do things. What are you going to say?
I'm the timekeeper, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, she's ruthless.
I'm ruthless.
So, I'm just listening, by the way. I was thinking, did you try playing it? Yeah, I think it would be better than the tremolo. Yeah. And you know what would help? Concentrate on the middle note. So, and kind of these Ds, they just come, you know, you only have to play, and then, and you come back. Yeah. All your attention should be in the middle voices with the D and the E flat. That will make it easier. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have one more. You've been an amazing audience. You've been I mean, the ones that have stayed to the end. The horn players all disappeared after a while, I'm ashamed to say.
Did they go to drink beer?
They probably did. Horn players like to drink beer. But you know what? I think we should do that afterwards as well.
Good idea, yes.
Olli, you've got some people. Stephen from Ottawa said he's absolutely loving it in Canada. And Rosa in Colombia says, what were your favorite pieces and what makes you happy?
Oh.
How long do we have?
Many things make me happy, like, you know, what most human beings, being with friends and family, and we have a little son, Vilho, and
Is he watching?
It might be that he has more important things to do at the moment, but musically, I mean, we are so fortunate, and we pianists are incredibly fortunate because there's endless amount of great masterpieces.
You try having just Mozart and Strauss.
Well, you have
bit
great
of
orchestral
Beethoven.
repertoire,
That's
of
true.
course.
That's true.
And
So do you?
Yes, yes.
But do you have favorite? Could you say? I couldn't say what favorites are, but
it's impossible.
Yeah.
I think what Maestro Willis just said, I heard he was saying what he's playing at the moment, and I think that is very good advice. And I mean, there's endless amount of, and I think great music like, I don't know, Bach, Beethoven, Ravel, Mendelssohn, what we have been hearing, I mean, it has so much wisdom. We learn so much from this music each time we hear it, and I mean, it's a great privilege, I must say, to have this profession and be involved with such incredible things. I mean, these are like great miracles, like living next to Niagara Falls or something like that. I mean, and each day we have to pinch ourselves and remember to be grateful. Not, you know, let's play this Beethoven symphony again. No, it's incredible every time.
Right. You're absolutely right. We're very fortunate. But now to finish off, we're going to have something very unusual. You thought it was Rachmaninoff.
Yeah,
but it's going to be Goodbye Dulina and Janus? Yes. Yeah, that's Janus is Janus? Janus. Welcome, and you are going to, I'll leave you with Olli.
Okay. Okay, so this is Goodbye Dulina Chacon. I don't know this. Yeah, I don't know this at all, I must say. But I'm happy to listen, and let's see. I try, because I noticed you were playing Rachmaninoff Prelude as well. And it's a rather long piece, so I think, unfortunately, this might be, this is.
Piece, Goodbye Dulina. Sorry, I'm looking at you under the thing. Just tell us just a minute, because I have no idea what it is.
I mean, I've met the composer a couple of times, and I mean, she's a great figure, of course, in the 20th century Russian music life. And but this is from her early period. I mean, the later stuff is, of course, very, very different. And but let's hear. Yeah, she's an interesting figure. music of Schedrin. Yes. Him I know, I can say very proudly, very, very well. I mean, we are in touch. We speak on the telephone maybe every second week or something like that. He's about the same age, actually. And I don't know, do you know, for example, I'm thinking of... this is very, very early piece, yes. There's First Piano Sonata. Do you know that? Yeah, you should get to know that. This is a wonderful piece, and it's something. Then, of course, you know, then he wrote. He's a wonderful pianist himself, and he wrote 24 Preludes and Fugues and Polyphonical Notebook. But then he later, you know, he wrote 6 piano concertos, and actually, number 5 is dedicated to me. I'm very proud to say, and I played a lot, 4th, 5th, 6th concertos, and of course it's a very long life. He's now 80 years old, but he's very active composing. Anyway, so that's just something that might interest you as well. I'm thinking here, let me maybe try something to do with the tempos. I'm being very pedantical now, as just very boring, taking all joy from your music making. But I think...
This is a very, proportional one.
It is, isn't it? Yes. And I would just... I can't say I'm a great expert on this piece because it's the first time I hear it. But actually, my immediate reaction is, because there's the first tempo, which I think was very good. There's even metronome. Then it's poco più mosso, and there's another poco più mosso. I felt especially the second poco più mosso was more like molto più mosso. It was, and maybe just as an idea, maybe it doesn't work, but you could try bringing the tempi closer together, because I felt then when you went meno mosso. Yes, exactly. You can have more reserve. Again, I was saying actually to the person who was playing before you about something different, but it's sometimes good to... And chacon, of course, it kind of means something with terrible discipline somehow, and the beginning, I think beginning is very impressive somehow. This is a little bit similar, but again, I'm saying the same thing to everybody, but try sitting higher. I think this could be interesting, and especially I'm thinking of the beginning. Now these chords. But I'm sorry, I will warn you next time. Yeah, but I'm thinking these chords, if you can play them even longer somehow, and when you're sitting higher, you can kind of lean against the piano. I was saying how gravity seems to exist, and it's very good to make gravity our friend rather than our enemy. So when you're here, you can even try sitting a little bit ridiculously high, just to get the feeling, and it will help. Lean against the piano, so those... Yes, longer notes. Yes, that's fine. You are allowed to. Yes. I'm thinking, let me try, because I feel if the movement could be slightly slower somehow, or it's a feeling more like for example, here I felt that it looked great, but then suddenly when you were close to, you did something like this, and it could be slower movement, just as an experiment. I mean. Try.
So a slower movement.
Slower movement, yes, but and just more weight, like.
So a little bit of the like a drop and push.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. let me try. Here, second bar. I love this after because the first is
It's not supposed to be free.
yes, you're absolutely right. And I'm not accusing you of that either. No, it's great. And first is actually it's just a B minor chord without any dissonance.
Then the dissonance.
Just
Then-
a quick question.
Yeah.
Junji in Japan, that's a
Uh-huh.
funny time, very early in the morning there. What causes pianists to have such different sounds? The fingers, the gravity? What causes you to sound totally different when you play? What is it? Is it the strength you're using? Is it the fingers? Is it...
Everybody is different, of
I know,
course.
I know.
Yeah.
We can sort of say it's the air, it's how you're set up. It's the same sort of thing. how the-
Yeah.
Do you have an answer for that? I
No,
just thought it was an interesting
no.
question. No answer for that. Right, okay.
It's a good question.
Carry on.
It's a good question.
No
Absolutely.
answer.
Also, maybe
Okay.
it's a little bit maybe about the arm length also.
Yes, of course. We are all different, and you know, as I said, you know, we should sit at different heights. And I was just saying that it's an interesting experiment to experiment with it. Anyway, what I was going to say is just the second bar. There are these dissonances, and especially here. So I would try to have this be natural more, yeah, because you have this, and I felt this was and this is even with the accent, yeah. So it usually, if you play it with the fifth finger, it means that it has to be very directly there somehow. Let me just try once more from my height. Sort of. Now. These are without accent somehow. Just heavy. I would think so, yes, because these are kind of without those accents. Sorry. Can he must play a little bit. Yes.
You don't get to say anything
Yeah,
anymore.
we don't notice your laugh somehow. Yeah. So, yeah. So that the police will stop you on the street when you. Yeah. Yes. And now. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Now just very heavy. Yes. And these are great chords. Yes. Now it will and just final thing. Let me try. Here I will play longer notes. And then it's amazing feeling going to one chord there.
It's about stretching this harmonically,
Yes.
getting a little bit more tubes out of it.
And almost kind of Chopin or something like that. But great. Thank you for introducing me to the piece. Yes. It's wonderful.
Would I be landing you in it if I asked us to play us your favorite encore, just to end the masterclass on a little bis? What do you, or is that too much stress?
No. I play everything with music now.
That's
It's
fine.
almost like
Do you have anything with
I'm
you?
wondering. I might play
If
something.
not,
Yes.
it's no stress.
Yes.
Is it allowed with offline questions?
Yes, please ask us a question. You have a question?
Because I have a question about the sound, Olli.
Yes.
Could it be the balance between the weight of the fingers that makes this?
A question about the offline, from Ufa here. A question.
I mean, the balance, the exact balance you make between your strength.
The balance between. Okay.
I mean, there are many kind of.
I know that's a very physical way, but of course you develop a certain feeling of this is how it goes. Marco, you have a very strong bass.
I mean,
It like colors the whole.
yeah. I think these are very interesting ideas, and I think certainly true what you say, and part of the thing. Though I would say in the primary level, still, the most important thing is you hear the sound before you play it. And then it doesn't matter how you play it. You can play it with these fingers or this way or that way, or, you know, when you have the sound in your ears and in your soul and you feel it already, I think it's important to feel the sound in your fingers even when before you play it.
He was saying the fraction of the second before the music starts.
Yeah.
That was his favorite moment.
Really?
Yeah.
I totally agree, because then you have everything there. And then from that moment, you know, there are no options, there are no alternatives. The music must be like this. And somehow it's a very interesting job, you know. It's
we all are just striving for the best sound we have. I feel a little bit bad that I've landed Olli in this, because it wasn't planned. I just thought it would be a lovely way to finish the masterclass.
Yes.
While he plays, we are going to, at the end, we're going to fade out. So I'll say goodbye now. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. You're such an inspiration. It was a real pleasure. I hope we can get you back online soon, because there are so many people around the world that were just loving what you were saying.
It's a wonderful concept also.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us at the Klassiske Dage, is that right? In Holstebro, the Klassiske Dage Festival, and we have lots more videos for you. Check out the Facebook page, Become Our Friend, and there's another concert tonight.
Absolutely, and I should tell you what I'm playing, because it's something interesting.
Please tell us what you're playing.
It is the last work of Schumann ever wrote, Gesänge der Frühe, and first movement of that, and I often play it as encore, and it's always nowhere people know what it is. They think, is it Sibelius, is it Beethoven, is it something by me?
The last, people I'm going to write.
It's the last completed work of Schumann, the last work that he prepared for publishing, I think, Opus 133, Gesänge der Frühe. And it has, I think, 5 movements. This is the first movement. It's sort of a hymn somehow.
Thank you, Olli. It's a total honor that he'll do this for us. Olli, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.